Well, in April I bought a pile of junk SUV, and in May the story continues. This is my new 2005 or 2006, I don't even know, Porsche Cayenne S, and it has like 311,000 kilometers on the clock. And if any of you knows anything about Porsches, then yes, the engine might be ruined. But let's check it out closer. I haven't even checked it out myself, to be honest. Let's take a quick walk around it. I mean, it's what is it now? Also 16, 17, 15-year-old car. So there's obviously good old Volkswagen rust everywhere. So anyone who claims that Porsche is something completely different than a Q7 or a Touareg, they're lying. Just look at this rust just in the middle of the door. But other than that, I mean, it looks a bit better than my Touareg, so it's not that bad. After all, this side is near a bush here. Like, to be honest, this is the first proper look I'm taking. So somebody has messed around with both of the wheel wells. I mean, really ugly job here. Basically a spray paint job or whatever. Plasti dip. I don't know if you plasti dip a body. Mastics is something in Estonian, I don't know if it's called the same in English, but nothing nice. Again, this good old Volkswagen in the middle of the door, rust there. But other than that, yeah, some rust here too. But other than that, I mean, for the age, it's looking pretty solid, to be honest. Let's take a quick look inside. I got my camera here on the driver's seat anyway, but inside looks better than outside. It has this Chinese Android radio, which is nice. I can listen to my own beats during the first drive. Yeah, the rear is more of the same. It's looking solid, decent. Kind of smells like animal piss. Sorry if any of the previous owners is watching. I am calling you out here, so somebody's been hauling animals in here, but it looks real solid. I'm not gonna lie, no hate from me. I got a good deal on it, so thanks for the actual previous owner, not one of the previous owners, the previous owner who sold me the car. Under the hood you'll find the Cayenne S's 4.5 V8 naturally aspirated engine, and you might be asking yourself, what are those? And those are gonna be going in the engine, because obviously it kind of feels like at the moment that it's been struck by the ye old Cayenne V8 problem, cylinder wall scoring. So I'll get going here. I wanna drive already, so I'll start with the RVS treatment here. I am checking the power steering fluid here, and even though the level is at minimum, I already checked, I'm doing a retake here, then I don't think the nasty noise is coming from the power steering, and it's engine related. So because of that, we got RVS here. So what is RVS? Triple Ceramic Engine Protection and Restoration is what it claims to be. Now, even though this car would require G8, then I've bought G2 and G4, and there's a very simple reason. Last time when I bought the G6 and the G8, the G6 and the G8 were the same product. G8 only had 1 milliliter of paste extra, and you'd pay like 20 or 30 euros more for it. So let's see how it is with these G2 and G4. Not that I would not believe in the product, or that I would believe in the product too much. I mean, it doesn't make anything worse if the engine's going bad anyway, but let's see how they are managing the packaging situation, because this is 1/3 of the price of the most expensive product, and the most expensive product had like 11 milliliters of paste in. So let's open this up and see what the situation is. G2, this is live demonstration. G2 has this big of a bottle in. That's G2. G4 has this big of a bottle in. Let's see, exactly the same fluid level. G4 had this much paste in it, 11 milliliters. Go figure. G4 has the same amount of paste in it than G8, and G2 has 11 milliliters of paste in it, the same amount of paste as 1/3 of the price of the product has the same amount of paste in it than a 90 euro product. So this is 30 euros, 50 euros, G6 is like 70 and G8 is like 90, but you get the same stuff, even the packaging is the same size. Going over the step-by-step process here, I don't remember it by heart from the last time, but warm the engine up to its normal operating temperature. Last owner left me like this much fuel in the car, so I guess first trip is to the gas station and we can warm up the engine while driving, and then we'll continue on with the process. Unfortunately, I'm forced to start the car up with the knocking noise, so I'll give you a little sample of it in a second here. Let's see, all the lights are turning off. I have to press the brake pedal too. So I'll take the microphone off my neck here and you can take a listen. So anyway, first trip is gonna be to the gas station. You can hear it from here, the knock of the engine is real audible. And yeah, let's sit inside. Yeah, you can hear it knocking. 311,000 kilometers and no fuel. So I need to refuel it a little. The engine is shaking a bit too. So this my car might be becoming fast junk. Fast junk is what I was trying to say. This is my genuine first drive. I was hoping to make the RVS treatment here, but we have to drive with a knocking engine. Let's see, does it even drive? Yeah, you can hear the knock. It's pretty bad, to be honest. First few meters. Yeah, you can hear it's like GTA 1 when the car is broken there. Oh jeez, what have I gotten myself into? Well, obviously I'm not gonna fix this car, but I was hoping that maybe it has some life left in it, but at the moment this feels like a parts junk to me, to be honest. But let's see, I'm gonna give it a little drive first. I gave it a fresh 22-liter fuel batch, and geez, look at the fucking price, 42 euros for 22 liters, please. But this car doesn't sound healthy at all. It might have very little life left in it. It doesn't sound any happier. I'm just gonna drive to the parts store parking lot, because that would give the car some time to warm up. We're on our merry way and warming up the engine. Just to listen to it, it's completely knocking. I don't know if I'm gonna even, I don't know, it feels like a perfect waste of 65 euros putting RVS in this engine, because it's sounding as dead as possible. I'm just gonna check the oil level here and add some power steering fluid, but I think this car might be driving straight to the junkyard. So let's see what the oil level says. Can I focus it in? Well, there seems to be more than a plenty. It's drowned in oil, but I'll add some power steering fluid, and because it's at minimum. Whatever, just a little last little ride, my only ride with the Porsche, so why not do something nice for it before the end. One thing that cheers me up though is that the car has a decent set of 20-inch wheels under it, so if nothing else I can nab these wheels for the Touareg, and it has good tires too. So Touareg at the moment has some nasty worn out studded winter tires under it, so if nothing else then I gained a set of wheels. Alright boys and girls, the situation might be a tiny bit more dire than I was expecting. So the car is dying, definitely. One thing that besides the engine block is dying is the starter. So let's see if we can even get the car started. No. Well, let's give it another go. Boom, it started. So that's a little win already. One thing, if I say something in my defense, when buying this car, I knew that at the minimal, I may get this radio out of it, and the wheels and the tires. So that was the most I was expecting. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna drive it to the Porsche specialist I was planning on taking it to anyway. I'm not gonna waste 65 euros of RVS treatment on this car at the moment. I feel like it's like throwing some money away. So let's let them give it a little listen first, and then we'll see what we'll do next. But at the moment it's driving fine. So this is maybe my only drive of the ownership of this Porsche. My Porsche ownership this time may last only about 10 kilometers, but we'll take this 10 kilometers. Other than that, I mean, yeah, first impressions, it drives fine. It's definitely more sportier. Let's not crash into other people here who was playing with the buttons. It's definitely more sportier than the Touareg, even on comfort. Okay, now it's lifting itself up a bit. Well, whatever. Just pay attention to the road, Jonas. You don't want to crash here, because I haven't registered the car on my name yet. So it's in theory still someone else's car, and this might not even be necessary at the end of the day. Just stay. Come on, Porsche, just stay in the middle level. Just normal. But yeah, besides the knocking, I mean, my friend is a huge Porsche buff, and just sitting here and driving it, let's ignore the engine knock, it's not different from the Cayenne, it's not different from the Touareg that I have. Like, this being a Porsche does not make this car any better sitting here at the moment. I don't see a single aspect of how this car is any better than a Touareg. Like, this is my impressions based on like the 3 kilometers I've driven it. Like, what makes it better? The suspension definitely is sportier. Both are on air suspension, but this definitely feels sportier, so it might be faster on the track. But other than that, what's the difference? Like, what's so this is like, I'm ranting basically towards my friend's ideas here, but like, what does make this car so special? Just, okay, they have different engines. The bi-turbo V10 versus or twin turbo V10 versus this NA V8. So that's the difference. But other than that, I mean, just sitting here, first impressions, no difference whatsoever. I obviously prefer the Touareg because it works, and I think this petrol engine these days with these gas prices, I put in 22 liters and I fucking paid 42 euros for it, so that's insane. But let's see, it's up to temperature, so I'll just give it a little gas. I don't know, it doesn't even feel fast, but that may have a very simple reason to it why it's not fast, because it's partially dead. I like the Touaregs. I mean, come on, Touareg is a 5.0 V10 with 2 turbos, a diesel, so obviously it will have better low-end torque than this car. A naturally aspirated petrol engine, so I don't know what I was expecting. But yeah, like I said, in my defense, the only thing that I was expecting from this car is to get the set of wheels and tires, so to say, for free with the car, and then maybe this radio. I don't know if it fits or not. I'm not sure at the moment. I can't tell. But other than that, yeah, I had no expectations. And I was lazy. I'm first one to admit it. There's some weird squeaking noise from the rear right. So I was lazy. I just went to the car, checked it out, and I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. So that's just how I am. I'm new to this junk business. So let's see. I mean, this is the first day, so let's see if it's gonna be a magnificent L or a small, tiny W. But at the moment, I'm heading to the Porsche dealer. Porsche independent shop would be the correct term in English. So that's the main shop, which is not how to say, it's not connected to the main dealer in any way, with Porsche in any way. It's the main independent shop fixing Porsches. And I'm sure I'm gonna find a man there who just takes one listen to this car and says that it's junk, and then I know what to do next. The plan anyway was just to take the wheels and tires, and the rest of the car is just going to a dismantler's. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna make any money on it. Questionable. But if I break even and get the wheels and tires out of this, then I consider that a big W. It's gonna be in my book at least. But let's see, the Porsche shop, the independent Porsche shop is just around the corner here. So I'm gonna turn in there, and let's see if they're gonna give me a quick and free evaluation of this engine situation. Exactly how you heard it. Situation. And the best part is I'm not far from home. I mean, I just live around the corner here, so that's nice. But anyway, to Carmus, to the Porsche shop. Okay, boys, this is maybe too good. I may be able to flip it right now, but let's see. So I'm at Carmus. So this is like the main, we won't see the logo, but whatever, I'm here. This is like the main independent Porsche shop in Estonia. And apparently the owner has bought these very cars for parts before, because some of his clients want used parts. So let's see, maybe I'll be able to flip it in like in like 2 hours of my ownership, and maybe make a little profit. So let's see. I am very excited, if you can't tell. So all I have to do is now wait here outside for him for like 30 or 45 or an hour, whatever. I'll do that. I'll enjoy the weather. No, yeah.